Hey everybody, Sentai 5 here, and happy Power Rangers Day. Today is the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers, and I don't even know where to start. I just wanted to do this quick video because obviously Power Rangers is my favorite brand, my favorite show, my favorite interest in the world, really. The brand is a little rocky right now in terms of how it's being marketed, promoted, and just... I don't know, I wanted to do this video just to share my love for Power Rangers. And for those of you who've been really following me on Twitter and my main YouTube channel know that the past 30 days I've been uploading a Power Rangers video, mostly trailers for different seasons and movies, daily for this big Power Rangers 30 project. And today was the last day of that, and I'm gonna link the entire playlist in the description below. And that was just my creative way of showing my love for Power Rangers because I'm really big into video editing. I've been doing that since I was 12 years old, and part of that is due to my love for Power Rangers. So yeah, a little bit of history of me and Power Rangers. I am 2 months older than Power Rangers. We are the same age. I just turned 30 back in June, and I still can't believe it. It's kind of weird. It hasn't really hit me yet. And now the very show that I grew up with my entire life, the very brand that's literally a piece of me, has grown up and turned 30 as well. You know, it's crazy that I've been watching this basically since I was an infant. My brother and my older cousin were huge Power Ranger fans growing up, and they were the target audience when Dave the Dumpster was on. And I was watching anything and everything they were watching growing up, and Power Rangers was that. So I was there watching it with them. Despite me being there since the beginning, I do remember watching Zeo from the beginning as it was airing. That's like the earliest I could ever remember of anything. Yeah, then ever since then it just always took off for me. It always stuck with me. And when you're a little kid growing up and you're really getting into Power Rangers, like the first thing you're gonna really notice is just the colorful suits, the Megazords, the action. I don't know, it's just a whole formula that just could grab the attention of any kid. And somehow it grabbed the attention of me for 30 years, as well as many other people in the fandom for 30 years as well. There have been a few times, namely during Wild Force, where I almost stopped watching Power Rangers completely. Not because I lost any interest in Power Rangers, but you know, I've always been into other things as well. Power Rangers despite Power Rangers being my main love, my first love, that's not the only thing I enjoy in life. And I implore all of you who don't really have any interest outside of Power Rangers or Tokusatsu to find other interests that may be to your liking. So back then I was really into Yu-Gi-Oh! And Star Wars as well, and my focus was more on those at the time. But, you know, I still kept up with Wild Force, and then when Reinforcements from the Future came on, that brought me right back, and Power Rangers was a huge priority for me again. It's funny because I've been around to witness all the different points in time where Power Rangers was basically facing cancellation or quote-unquote canceled, but then came back real quick. And back then I never even not really grasped the concept, but I never really felt that it was going to be the end. Especially with Countdown to Destruction, because it really did feel like an ending to Power Rangers overall, even as a kid. But, you know, we always saw promos for the next season during the finale, and we had already gotten a teaser for Lost Galaxy during that episode, so we obviously know this wasn't the end. And I remember also Wild Force had also felt that way as well, but obviously we knew Ninja Storm was coming, despite the title of the finale being called The End of the Power Rangers. RPM was the time I kind of accepted Power Rangers ending if it was going to be truly the end. A little bit of background is that Disney didn't really want to do RPM, but there's contract obligations and Jetix Europe really pushed for it, so they are to thank for RPM even existing. But that was a time where Power Rangers was very scarce, both on TV and in stores, really. RPM, you would have to be very lucky in your area if you even got it or not, because it was either airing very early in the morning at like 4 or 5 o'clock on ABC. It wasn't even on cable. It was on the local ABC channels. For me, it was in the afternoon, normal time, with how ABC Kids always aired Power Rangers. It was always like the last thing on the ABC Kids block. Outside of that, you couldn't really find the toys out of like the first like spring wave of toys. Like you'd never see the fall action figures or Megazords or any of that stuff. Even for Jungle Fury as well, it was really weird, the distribution, how that all ended up. But for RPM especially, like it really felt like it was the end of Power Rangers. And by then I was already like 5 years, 6 years into the fandom, into the online fandom. And there are already murmurs of Power Rangers just like ending already. So it really felt like it was going to conclude all directions. But deep down, I always knew that like this isn't going to be the end of Power Rangers, and of course it wasn't. In the fall of 2009, we saw that there was an MMPR toy line coming for 2010, and then during the endgame of RPM, we got promos of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers coming to ABC, and the very terribly edited, goofy reversioning that only lasted 32 episodes. And then Power Rangers came back with another adaptation again with Samurai, and then we got into the quote-unquote dark ages with Saban Brands. By the time Samurai was airing, I had finished high school and started college, and I was still into Power Rangers no matter what. Like, it's Power Rangers. I'm always gonna love Power Rangers in some sort of aspect. It just was a completely different show. It started focusing more on a more younger audience, and it took us some years to realize that until we were actually told. And it just felt directionless at times, because it's like it's the same stupid lessons that you're learning over and over again that's being forced down you. You're being talked down to. It doesn't feel as natural as it used to be. I will give credit where it's due, and Dino Charge really trying to be different and really trying to feel like it was going to go back to the old days, and it really did feel like that with Dino Charge Season 1 specifically. But Dino Supercharged, it just fell apart. And then we had Ninja Steel in the movie, the 2017 movie, and then we get to the Hasbro era, where Hasbro shockingly bought the entire brand, and here we are to this day in 2023. I can't say the handling of the brand under Hasbro has been the best, but they certainly did try in certain aspects, and I'll give them credit where it's due. But yeah, that's basically my history with Power Rangers from the very beginning in sort of a nutshell. I know I spoke a little too much than I thought I would, so I apologize. I don't really have a favorite season of Power Rangers. I actually have a favorite sort of era, sort of run of seasons, and that's basically from In Space, maybe go far as back as the second half of Turbo, all the way through SPD. That is consistently my favorite run of Power Rangers to this very day. And personally, I don't think anything will ever top that. You'd have to like really, really try hard. And there's nothing wrong with that, you know. Everybody has their own era or favorite season of Power Rangers. That run of Power Rangers in particular has gotten me through a lot of tough times throughout my life. And I'm so grateful for Power Rangers, for me being here because of it, and me connecting with all of you because of it as well. I've met a lot of great people, a lot of good friends through Power Rangers, through my love for Tokusatsu in general. It actually was my gateway into Super Sentai and Kamen Rider in 2004, so I owe my love to Power Rangers for that. And of course, Power Rangers has made me into a toy collector, because I cannot stop collecting Power Rangers action figures specifically. And don't even get me started about the Megazords and Super Sentai Robos, that's just a whole other thing. But yeah, as I mentioned before, Power Rangers is also one of the factors to my hobby of video editing, and that's one thing that's never going to stop with me. I'm always going to continue to do video edits of Power Ranger seasons, fan openings, fan battles, whatever it is, till the very end, till the very day I die. Another thing that's big with me for Power Rangers is diversity. I like seeing a lot of actors and characters of different ethnicities and different races and stuff. As well as now they're starting to get into the LGBTQ plus representation which I think is very long overdue, and I'm glad Dino Fury finally gave that for the TV series with Fern and Izzy. So hopefully we can see more representation for other characters going forward. That'd be great. And speaking of representation, it took over 25 years to get the first Indian Power Ranger, who was Beast Morpher Blue Ravi. And while he wasn't really my favorite character, it just felt nice to be represented finally. As a lifelong fan. And the actor's pretty cool too. Jazz is a cool guy, so props to him. I'm glad I got to meet him during Power Morphicon 5 years ago. I also wanted to mention Tommy, because he's obviously my favorite Power Ranger, and he's one Power Ranger I feel so connected to. Just seeing him go through his ups and downs in life, discovering who he is as a person, becoming successful in a career that I never thought he would be in, as well as mentoring a new generation of Power Rangers, coming full circle as a Power Ranger himself. It was so fulfilling. And every time you'd see Jason David Frank return as Tommy, it felt like you were catching up with an old friend. And I know it's kind of corny to say that, but that's just how connected I felt to Tommy. It's really sad that we lost Jason David Frank last year, because I know he would have been out here celebrating the brand. So RIP to the GOAT, Jason David Frank. One last thing I want to mention is the actual universe of Power Rangers, or should I say multiverse. It's actually been a multiverse for many, many years, even before the term was popularized. You know, this is like the biggest kids live-action superhero show that's every season is connected to each other in some way, shape, or form. I think that's really cool. And I've always enjoyed that about Power Rangers growing up, because the seasons I grew up with, they would always make references to the older seasons, sometimes in your face, but a lot of times it was very subtle, and then if you knew, you knew, basically. And it just felt really special doing that. And then of course there's other seasons where it would take advantage of that huge universe, that vast connected universe, and tell something new out of it. You know, Power Rangers was out there doing it before the MCU made it really cool and all that stuff. And I'll always give Power Rangers credit over that any day of the week. I think that's all I really want to say out of my love for Power Rangers. I think I pretty much covered it to the basics. My hopes for Power Rangers in the future is that just continue to make good content that will keep me immersed, keep me focused, keep me reeled in, basically. I don't think Power Rangers will truly ever go away either. No matter what hiatus they take, no matter what kind of cancellation, whatever happens, Power Rangers will always exist in some way, shape, or form. And it always has been as well. We've had Power Rangers expand to various mediums. The comics are very successful right now. Years back, we had something that I never thought would even be possible or even work out, and it was Power Rangers Hyperforce, which, if you don't know, is a live stream tabletop RPG that aired every week on Tuesday nights. And that was like one of the best things in 2017 and 2018. So for real this time, that's about it. Thank you, Power Rangers, for the years of great stories, for better or worse, that you were able to tell over the last 3 decades. Thank you for rising above all adversity throughout the many times you faced cancellation. Thank you for just still sticking around, basically. And finally, thank you for sparking my imagination throughout the 30 years of my life. So thank you all again for watching this and hearing my rambles and thoughts on Power Rangers, what it means to me. Hope you all be well and stay safe, and I'll see you all next time for whatever video that's going to be. Take care.